Yo, guys, what's up? Ryan with Athex Fitness here, and I literally just recorded this whole thing, but I didn't record it because it didn't record. So let's go through it again. This is an overview of the 10-week program that I'll be following here through my bulk. So I'll be aiming to gain 5 to 10 pounds of hopefully mostly muscle, but obviously not. I've been training for 12 years, and I'm going to be putting on some fat along with this, but we're trying to keep it somewhat minimal, do some damage control, not get too fat, and mainly focus on our numbers here. So I am starting at 180 pounds right now, and my current macros are 3,200 calories per day, about 170 to 190 grams of protein, about 20 to 25% of my total calories, 70 grams to 110 grams of fat, also about the same, and carbs 400 to 500 grams per day, 50 to 60%. And that kind of just falls where it is throughout the day as I kind of eat. So I'm pretty liberal with everything, and mainly I'm focusing on my protein macros and just getting just enough fat, to support joint health and hormones and all that good stuff. So my ending goal is to be 185 to 190 pounds, give or take. So 1 pound per week of weight gain at the maximum. It's not worth me gaining that much fat. I kind of prioritize body composition over strength, even though I like to train for strength. I'm definitely not a power lifter. I just kind of focus on numbers as my way of programming, and I just enjoy it more. So there's something to be said for that. I'll be training safety squat bar, squat as my main squat, just regular bench press really as my main bench, trap bar deadlifts, and I'll be doing a lot of deficit for my volume work, and seated OHP and weighted chin up. So weighted chin up might kind of go out the door as I go. I'm getting a little bit of forearm pain already from chin ups for some reason, and just want to manage that. Plus, as I'm gaining weight, just body weight based movements, weighted body weight based movements really aren't the most fun. You're going to see more benefit with that when you're kind of cutting, losing weight. So we'll see about that. But my goals are 325 SSB squat at the end, 295 pound bench, 460 pound trap bar deadlift, 160 pound seated OHP, and 320 pounds total weighted chin up, or 135 pounds on the belt. And these are, some of these numbers are a little bit conservative. My sumo deadlift is 465 at the moment, and a high handle trap bar deadlift should technically be slightly higher, but it's a newer movement, along with SSB. So we'll see how that goes. For nutrition and supplements, 8 to 12 servings of fruit and veggies per day is kind of like my gold standard, no matter what I'm eating at the time. So I should be able to nail that every day. 1 to 2 servings or more of legumes, over 70 grams of fiber, and that's kind of like my nutrition goals. And as long as I'm eating mostly healthy, I'm fine with some junk food here and there. For supplements, vegan DHA/EPA 2 to 3 times per week, 50 milligrams of zinc 2 to 3 times per week, 5,000 IU of vitamin D and K2, because I won't be outside too much and it's going to be getting cold this winter in New York City. 10 milligrams of boron 2 to 3 times per week, and along with the zinc to kind of support healthy testosterone levels, and 800 milligrams of ashwagandha. That also can help support testosterone levels apparently, which really isn't that important, but it could be good. I don't know, whatever. It's a good supplement anyways for me. It manages stress pretty well, and I just personally enjoy it. So the main supplement that I'm adding in here, which is something that I never tried before, is Tercastrone. So 4 caps, 2,000 milligrams Tercastrone twice daily every day for week 1 to 5, and then for weeks 5 to 10, towards the end, is going to be 5 caps, 2,500 milligrams every day. Turkesterone is vegan. It's sourced from a plant, but the turkesterone that I got is from Gorilla Mind, and actually it's in gelatin capsules, which I normally wouldn't support, and I actually didn't know when I was buying it at first. It was honestly just complete. I just didn't realize they had gelatin in them. So I'm going to have to be opening the capsules and drinking the powder, which it tastes like shit, but whatever. Gelatin, in my opinion, it's just a waste product that exists from the animal agriculture industry. It wouldn't exist if people didn't eat meat and support animal products. But nevertheless, I still don't want to buy products with gelatin usually, but I already have it. And I do support Gorilla Mind. Like I like Derek, who's behind that company, and I trust them. They're kind of the gold standard of Turkesterone right now, it seems like too. So that's what I'll be running for these 10 weeks. And I'm a little skeptical about how much progress I'll actually get from it. Training for 12 years now and being super meticulous. So if I do get any progress, I'll really know that it came down to the Turkesterone, just because I'm so religious and, tracking everything for the past several years, 6 to 7 years now of diligent tracking. So I'll really be able to pick out what is working or not. Besides that, 5 grams of creatine, 3 to 5 grams of beta alanine, and then occasionally, 8 to 10 grams of essential amino acids intra-workout with a carb source like Gatorade. I'm not really, when I run out of that, I probably won't take it anymore. But, it is what it is. I have it right now. And then for pre-workout, sometimes I'll take beetroot and citrulline malate, 10 grams of each, just for more of a pump, just for fun, really. And it might be good for you in terms of more blood flow, reducing blood pressure, even though my blood pressure is good. For training, I'll go over my whole program really quick, briefly, but just to summarize, it's periodized into 2 different blocks, really. A 6-week volume focus block, so focusing on increasing volume and managing RPE as we go, and kind of focusing on hypertrophy more. And then 3 to 4 weeks of strength focused training, higher intensity, focusing on specific strength. So really trying to peak for those numbers that I want to test for at the end. And just little caveat here. Not all lifters need nearly as much volume as I do. I've been training for a long time now, and I know how many weekly sets I really need to see progress. I'm also an average to low responder in terms of weight training, I think, and I've only gotten as far as I have because I really push the envelope, and I'm very consistent and very diligent with my tracking. So, I have a lot of I need to program in a lot of volume to really get response at this point. And if you're an average to low responder, you will also, and you need to increase your frequency. If you're a genetic elite with lifting and gaining muscle, you can get by with much less frequency. You could probably train with a bro split and make a lot of progress still, and cut your volume a lot. But that's not me. So I will be using RPE/RIR through the whole training cycle to really manage my fatigue levels because volume will be so high. So at the beginning, I'll be training pretty far away from failure. Towards the end and kind of peaking, I'll be training closer to failure. And just to kind of give a quick overview of what RPE is, that means rating of perceived exertion, and it basically means how far away from training you will be, how far away from failure you will be training, set by set. RIR is basically the same thing but inverted. So RPE 8 means you'll be training about 2 reps away from failure. RPE 9 means about 1 rep away from failure. So you basically take that number and subtract it from 10. And that's how many reps away from failure you'll be training. RIR is the inverse number, which is going to be like, if it's RIR of 3, that means that you'll be training 3 reps away from failure. And that, RPE 7 would be the exact same thing, but just inverted. So I kind of use those terms interchangeably, even though they mean the same thing. So really quick summary of my program, because it's kind of boring. I'll just go through it quickly. So everything will be programmed in 3-week waves for the first 6 weeks of this volume block. So there'll be 2 3-week waves where we'll be increasing volume and increasing RIR as we go. So I'll be focusing on the same movements through the whole 6 weeks. So days 1 through 5 of the first week will be close grip bench on day 1, weighted chin-ups, seated dumbbell overhead press, leg curls, and ab rollouts. And I'll be adjusting weight set by set as I need to kind of hit that RIR, but somewhere in this range. And I have goal weights that are rough estimates. They may be undershooting or overshooting. I'm really just going to adjust more on the day. And all of this overall will be auto-regulated based on how I feel. It's the most important thing. And then day 2 is going to be deficit trap bar deadlift. The deficit's about 4 inches, 5 inches or so. So I'm really cutting the numbers here and really focusing on a larger range of motion. Then pause SSB squat, and then Penlay rows and bicep curls for day 2. Seated OHP, dumbbell bench, belt squat, and tricep extensions for day 3. Day 4 is going to be deficit pause trap bar deadlifts, close grip bench, weighted chin-ups, and ab rollouts. And day 5 is going to be SSB squat, seated OHP, dumbbell rows, and upright rows. And as you can notice here, The RIR is going to be pretty low. So training far away from failure and just focusing on kind of like, getting into the program, warming up, kind of adjusting for week one. So sets you might notice are actually pretty high compared to most people's standards already. But trust me, we're going to be ramping up. And we're judging everything based off total weekly sets for the progress. So we're starting in a range where I will be, roughly maintaining my progress, and then kind of working into more of an MRV, as Mike Israetel would put it, which is going to be like max recoverable volume for weekly sets, which is where I'll be really seeing my progress and really pushing things. So for bench, for example, I'll be pushing into like the low 20 range to really see progress. And, we're starting low to kind of really ramp into that and kind of manage fatigue as we go. So week 2 is going to be the same movements, but just bumping up sets and lowering RIR just a bit. So we'll be increasing weight a little bit and, decreasing 1 rep also. So as you can see, total weekly sets is already going up a little bit, working towards that max. And then week 3 is the same approach, adding a set, decreasing a rep, increasing weight a bit, and decreasing the RIR. So training slightly closer to failure. And then for this 3-week wave, we end with these peak sets. I should really be seeing some progress by this point, and fatigue should be creeping up, definitely creeping up. But there's a bit of a reset here to allow for a bit of recovery. So reset the sets just a bit, but slightly higher than week 1. And the reps are 1 rep lower than week 1, but higher than week 3. So we're going to creep through this again, and then end with a higher total weekly set than week 1, but still lower than where we're going to peak for this volume block. So same approach for week 5 here. And then week 6 is going to be the peak of the volume focus block. So as you can tell here, we're kind of ramping up, then a bit of a reset, then ramping back up again in terms of volume. So by the end of week 6 here, I'm going to be feeling the fatigue for sure. We're going to be ending with 21 sets of bench, for example, which is definitely going to be like max recoverable volume for me. Fatigue is going to be pretty high. And after that, we're going to do a mini deload where we shift into a strength focus block. So total sets are going to be lower. We're not going to be focused on increasing that as much. We're going to be focused on raising intensity and focusing on working in lower rep ranges to get more specific towards testing for a 1 rep max. So we're shifting movements just a bit to kind of, be more specific to the end movement that we're testing. So like, for example, I am cutting out dumbbell bench in favor of close grip bench. So 3 days a week of barbell pressing, more specific, and working in lower rep ranges again. So same approach here in terms of intensity. We're kind of ramping that up, and then through the 3 weeks, and then we're going to be doing a peak. So week 8, same idea. We're lowering the RIR a bit, so training a bit closer to failure. 1 set higher and lower reps. So working in, like sets of 5s and triples mostly, maybe sets of 6 or 7 here and there for slightly more volume for like accessory movements or supplementary work. And then week 9 is going to be where we're really kicking things up for the strength focus block. So it's really 3 weeks of ramping that up, and working with a lot of doubles and triples for like the main movements at least, and training, RPE 8 or 9. Week 10 is going to be the peak week. So day 1 and 2 are going to be kind of like working with doubles and higher with like higher weights. And then day 3 is going to be a deload, a couple of deload days to recover. And then day 4 is going to be the test day. So that'll probably be a Sunday. I'll have like most of that week to rest to recover for that. And then hopefully we'll hit those goal numbers. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for these whole 10 weeks as we bulk up. And I hope that it was a little bit insightful for some of you guys and not too boring. So I'm excited to take everyone along with this and hold myself accountable. So we'll be doing weekly videos, week by week, recapping for everything and just updating you guys on how everything's going. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and I'll see you guys shortly. Peace out.